Hi folks, we are back at the World Cup and we have a recorded game to show you. So this is again the Slovenia and France matchup, and I played against Mak in Greyjoy against Targaryen, and this is my opponent's deck that is actually it's an interesting matchup because I'm playing Greyjoy Winter, and that's a choke deck. Partly a choke deck, and relies on the first snow of winter, but it's up against Aloof that actually specializes in big characters and has the agenda reduction. Basically, the first big character you marshal each round is 2 cheaper, so with plots like Late Summer Feast and the Maiden, always guaranteed to be able to marshal something, and it's quite interesting how this plays out. So we did some test games, and yeah, some combinations are really tough to deal with. So Drogon burns your Chads away, which you don't have that many of them, and then you are exposed to military claim and to march to the wall. And with Khal Drogo in play, that can really turn into a huge aggro potential, basically, that is difficult to deal with. And there was even one game where the Aloof deck had Drogon, Khal Drogo and Rhaegal in play, and then Rhaegal was able to stand Drogon for the double burn, which honestly then you cannot deal with. So my plan here was to somehow stop 3 of these bigs to come into play. Can't really stop 2 of them coming into play, but 3 maybe you can. And that was my thinking. This is where the game will be decided, if I can somehow hold my opponent from getting this dominant board. And yes, what's the plan? So we have some tools to achieve that. We have this Bloody Cup event, so basically every challenge needs to be properly defended, properly opposed, otherwise this can be played on any character. And if you play this on the big ones, then after the Maiden and Late Summer Feast are gone, it's incredibly difficult to remarshal them. So it's a huge loss. And of course you as Targaryen are also then exposed to a little bit of aggro with that, because military claim usually follows. Now another interesting thing, so Nothing Burns, an incredible plot that gets rid of key locations and attachments. In the Targaryen deck there is literally 1 target for the location, Plaza of Pride, 1 copy. Everything else is limited, so survives Nothing Burns. But the attachment's a little bit more favorable, so 2 Queen's Guards, which can, basically there's 5 of them because of gifts for the Widow. Losing that does hurt a little bit, and of course we do not so also can get rid of the Queen's Guards. And what else? So the Morghulis play, of course, so this deck doesn't have that much draw, as you can see. No draw, basically. There's this insight attachment, I guess. So not forced to find dupes, and then maybe you can get Morghulis, but also plays some counters to that in the form of, first of all, Return to the Fields, which of course can, if you time it correctly, can save all of your characters. And then also an interesting plot is Mad King's Command. So some of the games where I survived the early aggro and started turning it around, I ran into this Mad King's Command, which turned it into a 3-on-3 situation with maybe Khal Drogo or something in play, and then yeah, that was again difficult to deal with, even if my opponent didn't have any gold or much gold at that point. So these are basically the key points of this matchup. Not sure if I've missed anything. So we can have a look at how the actual game went in practice. So the situation in this matchup, I believe this is game 4. France leads 2-1 at this point. And yeah, Sarah played before me the Baratheon mirror, and we thought that was it was a tough one, but maybe winnable, and we needed that one and this one to be able to get a draw against friends. That was our thinking at that point. So honestly, I kind of felt that the pressure was lifted a little bit with Sarah losing. I thought, okay, we're not getting anything from the friends matchup, so it doesn't really matter how I do here. But yeah, in hindsight, of course, that was pretty stupid thinking, because no game is lost in advance. Happy with my hand here, by the way. We have duped Gorald. Anything that's duped is nice, because if Khal Drogo is in play, you need that early on, and of course you threaten Morghulis immediately. And he comes with a reducer to stop March, and with the King's Road could also play the Orc Retriever and Sea Tower, but doesn't seem to be better. I guess the other thing to consider is playing Asha Reducer and Sea Tower, since Asha is a pretty dominant character while in play. But pretty much decided here that I'm going to set up Gorald. And I was happy to see Mac thinking for some time, and in the end wasn't really happy with the hand, so took a mulligan. That's always good to see, because yeah, mulligans can go badly. So I talked about some of the problems that I was fearing here, the aggro, and here is a duped Drogon setup. From my perspective, so what I can do, I have the Bloody Cups, and I have Balon Greyjoy, the pillage one that can put stuff into play. And turns out in this matchup, there's some reserve choke, there's a lot of pillage, intrigue claim and everything. You usually can get stuff in the discard pile, and if it's big, if it's the Barristan Selmy and Dario Harris and the other dragon, stuff like that, then it's actually difficult to push military challengers through, because there's so much defense. Balon himself is 5, and whatever he brings in is another, let's say, 6 strength, and yeah, not that easy to do the aggro from that point. So if he is in play and not Nightmares, he is a great character, and very happy to see him here after the redraw. And I was slightly annoyed, because this deck doesn't have good control of initiative. It loses usually on Winter Reserves against the Maiden, and I was pretty happy that I got a King's Road. But then my opponent had one as well. But actually didn't open the Maiden, he opened Late Summer Feast, so now I do win initiative, and yeah, I'm thinking, but there's no good reason to go second, really. Or is there? No. Because you can, if you keep 2 gold, now I do actually have a Bloody Cup after the redraw, or after the draw phase. I didn't before. You know that the opponent will have to panically defend. That maybe stops some stuff that could have happened to you from happening. 4 reserve, by the way. If I marshal Ralph, that's down to 3. And now that my opponent has used the King's Road during my marshalling, I'm having another thing here, because if I play Balon, I can immediately play that King's Road. So I have 5 gold here, and then I have 3 for my King's Road, 1 for the location, 1 for the reducer. So that's 10, and if I took max King's Road here, that would be 13. So that would be, for instance, Balon, Ralph, and the Bloody Cup. The problem though is Drogon is here and he burns Ralph, so he's only 3 strength. It's not all powerful, even though he's an incredibly strong character. I have a reason, but then there is also Hand's Judgment in my opponent's deck, so it's a risky strategy. But he would choke a little bit more if I used it. The other option is to do challenges and then hope that Balon pillages or Gorald pillages a character that I can put into play. Now the odds are very good, but it's not guaranteed. So I decide to go for this. Iron Throne annoyingly gives you a prompt for Geralt every time. Yeah, and there's so much gold here. Even against the choke, and remember, King's Road has already been used, so it's even 3 more than it seems here. So basically 3 reserve, but most of the hand can just be played out here. And there's the combination. Yeah, the one I didn't want. I'm just hoping now for there not to be a dupe, because you can bloody cup him going first. Still 8 gold remaining, which is incredible. So now even a Regal or a Baristan could come in, and that's quite a disaster. Okay, maybe opponent still needs to defend though against the Bloody Cup and can't just do all the challenges, but yeah. Jorah, that's I didn't want to see him either, because I can Bloody Cup on the Intrigue, but not now. Now there's all the icons. And I was amazed to see 6 gold remaining. So that almost never happened in testing, but then usually we had the Maiden in the opening, not Late Summer Feast. So with 6 gold, okay, Drogon has ambush, he's already in play. The gifts obviously can bring in Queen's Guard, and then you have the cards in hand, you're all reserve, and you can stand Khal Drogo, which sucks because he can do his 2 military challenges then. I'm just thinking, okay, let's do our challenges. Force all 3 of them to kneel. And I get these. I am all reserve myself, of course. Yeah, I think Geralt needs to do the first one, because there's some chance that he stands if the pillage goes right. Even though there's no power, I'm thinking power challenge, more chance for some complacency. And I mean, it's obvious, right, that the Bloody Cup is there. Could be bluffing, but probably not. And unfortunately, he doesn't give it a chance to happen. But now I'm thinking I can do military and force maybe a Drogon to kneel, and then he is gone, and his burn of Ralph is no longer a threat. But look at this, I actually pillage Missandei, and she works after being pillaged as well, which just, I don't know. What are the odds? You always get her for intrigue claim, and now I pillage her. Of course, I'm not going to deny my own pillage because I have effects that trigger from it. And now even Claim Soak is there if Mark wants it, if his thinking was let's defend so that I don't lose the dupe or that I don't lose Jorah. Now there's 4 characters here. And yeah, unfortunately Queensguard is available, so he can keep Drogon standing. To attack back with, and yeah, he can even do 2 militaries back, right? Well, I have 1 saving grace here. I have Reason in hand, but did I just pillage Friedman? So I pillaged Missandei and Friedman, and Friedman is just going to come in because I can't defend the win by 5. That's pretty horrendous, I have to admit. Yeah, and I need this not to be Risen. Get an extra card. And okay, Orkmont River, honestly, it's not that crucial. It's burnable as well with Drogon. I was hoping for another reason. Dupe of Ralph. And I actually get put to the sword on Balon, so this now ruins my plans. Because I was going to reason Ralph, stop him getting killed by Drogon. But now Balon is much more important because he gets access to the discard pile and stops some of the aggro. And had to save him. And I was lucky here, honestly, that Mac triggered this in this order. I have to take the dupe now. Okay, I could Morgulis if I don't take the dupe, but the little guy protects from marched, basically forces Mac to do another military. It's going to cost him a card to stand Khal Drogo. Yeah, I was going to say, lucky that he triggered put to the sword first. If he triggered Drogon first, I would try to reason Ralph, then my Balon would get killed. Okay, I draw a dupe for Ralph, which is alright. Next round, I guess. But not that great because Drogon keeps burning him, right? Okay, he has 4 strength after the reason temporarily. But then I'd also like to play Nothing Burns at some point to get rid of Queensguard, which now is the repeatable stand. So one thing that is alright, so I'm now getting one of the characters marched here for sure, because I have to take the reducer. I didn't draw another reason, unfortunately. One thing in my favor is that it's cost Mac a lot of cards. It's down to 2 after having to stand. Drogon is going to lose the Queensguard if I play Nothing Burns, while I have drawn a lot from Late Summer Feast, so I have a hand. I'm losing 4, but 2 of those are now Ralph dupes that are useless, unfortunately. So all the talk about Ralph being overpowered, we're not going to see him in this game. He is gone. So what else can I lose is the question. Meister and Botley Crew. Okay, Botley Crew is difficult to get into play now at this point. and Eager Deckhand is better because I have Grey Ghost, which comes with Eager Deckhand for free. I'm not very rich in this matchup, that's why usually you play 2 Wind Reserves at the start so that you can have a good late game. But Nothing Burns is just so important now to get rid of Queensguard, because he's just going to stand with his ability, stop all kinds of unopposed, and stop and be able to do 2 military challenges back always. Well, gold is gone, Balon there alone, but his ability at least can give me an extra character, and now at least there won't be that much gold here for Mac to be able to marshal something crazy. Although still there is something. You can still marshal a 6 coster if I don't have a Botley crew, which I don't because he's first player anyway, so even if I did have it. Happy to see the dupe for Balon to absorb some claim again. Yeah, already 7 costers cannot be marshaled unless there's another estate or a King's Road or something, but he spends the gold to play Queensguard. Now it's back and 3 cards are in hand. It sucks for me. I'm going to suffer 2 military challenges again, but the plus side is he spent the gold for this, so he now cannot stop Balon with nightmares, and I'm going to have access to the discard pile. Again, there's a King's Road there if I wanted Asha, but can't really absorb all the claim. So I'm playing the Chad and Grey Ghost and keeping the gold for Bloody Cup if I get lucky and it's not discarded. Now there are 2 really big characters here in play for Balon's ability. So you can take a Claim Soak, or you can take something that helps you win one of them on defense. There's 11 on the attack and can't be boosted, so if I use his ability to put Viserion into play, I defend with 13. And I guess the challenge where I need to do that is the one where Drogon attacks, because he takes an extra character with him when he attacks. And when Drogo alone attacks, that's not so important to win on defense. Can't anyway, can't get them all. Sucks though that there is also a Freedman. Can't believe I managed to pillage that and Missandei in the same game. Those characters would now not be in play. You know, it would be Drogo and Drogon by themselves there. But yeah. Briefly considering whether I should defend Intrigue instead. It's not a good idea because of Drogon's ability. So now I'm thinking Bloody Cup will probably work, so losing Asha is better, because if I play the Bloody Cup on Drogo, I will be able to pillage him, so he's out. Queensguard is out and can't really be... I mean, it costs a lot to be replayed, and you can't go on Drogon, you can go on the charts, that sucks a bit, so... Wouldn't want a Queensguard on Missandei, for instance. Although without Asha now I am properly top decking. Yeah. So I'd like to stop Freedman coming in if I could, honestly. It would require me to defend with Orkmont River. But then I need to spend Balon and whatever he brings in, which is probably Viserion to defend military, and then Drogo does another military which probably claims either Deckhand or could claim the Nelt River or Viserion, I guess. But then he can still stand from Queensguard again. And I don't have any more characters to push through my challenge for the Bloody Cup, so only way really is to leave it unopposed. The power is mounting up to 9. But now I'm thinking I can get Drogo away anyway. I mean, whether he does a challenge or not. The only way I think for him to stop it would be if he passes completely and forgets about Drogon, then he potentially has defenders for all icons, right? But then I have Viserion's ability, and he also characters have their strength reduced. Would that matter? I guess it would. I could stop. I have Great Ghost to trigger on Drogo, so he can defend power, and then Friedman doesn't contribute strength, and it's Bloody Cup again. Yeah, so I don't think there's a theoretical way for Mark to stop it, so it just forces me to use a Balon on defense. Looking at Dario, because Viserion is so great with his ability that maybe leaving him in the discard pile for another round would be okay, but the problem I have there is that Darion and Balon are 11 on defense, so would need another character to go into the challenge with them, whereas Viserion and Balon can just do it alone. There's also Queensguard, which I can take on my characters if I had a full hand, which I don't, and I never do in this deck. And let's see what we get. And yeah, I just discarded Friedman. Of course I did. Discarded Friedman for pillage again. I think that's all the pillage effects I've had, right? It was always Missandei or Friedman, or was there another one in between? That's not the best, what can I say? Losing 9-2 would be closer if that didn't happen, but okay. The game still could go my way now if the Bloody Cup is triggered. And I can do it on military now. Have to Grey Ghost Drogo, but I'm not doing that before he stands. Because if I Grey Ghost him now, he's not going to stand, of course. If he wants to defend against the Bloody Cup, he needs to stand first. 2 cards in hand. Yeah. I mean, that's quite a price to pay in itself, even if you manage to defend against the Bloody Cup, but spend all your cards, that Queensguard becomes a dead card at some point, although you always top deck 2 more, so yeah. Yeah, Max making the calculation now, basically. Does he waste the card? There's no point. Can't stop the Bloody Cup, whatever he does. Yeah, I mean, I kept 2 gold in the opening round. This is round 2, and that's I still have 1 card, and he didn't see a bloody cup leave my hand in the meantime. So, I mean, the odds of this 1 card being bloody cup are low, but given the context, they are quite high now. And here we go. I mean, I can play it on Drogo and Morgulis since there's no huge difference to that, but probably would get returned to the fields then. Um, yeah, just better to do it on Drogo, and then it's quite difficult to. I mean, he's not going to be drawn anyway because I have pillage on this guy. Have to pillage him because yeah, with the maiden he could still be replayed. And now basically Mark has 1 plot where he can get a big one in, and the other plots have low gold, and my choke basically makes that even lower, and it's difficult to marshal anything at all. 3 cards to 0, so I guess now is as good a time as any to play that foil spring and check whether there's a Baristan in there that can come into play. Yeah, I don't think there was a way to defend it, honestly. Had to hit it with Intrigue, which would be great. I would get Asha, but I would be under pressure still. I think foil spring, I mean, the second winter reserves is quite important for my econ, but 3 cards in hand, perfect number to play that foil spring and make sure there's no threat. Especially Nightmares is the one I would most like to get rid of. Make sure Balon can always trigger. And he plays the Maiden, so he has the goal this round to play a big. And actually, I cannot stop it because there's 2 of them. Okay, so Queen's Guard doesn't go on anyone impactful, so that's the card that worries me the least. And what do I want from my Balon trigger? Yeah, Regal on my side not so great. I can deny a power icon if I take Baristan, and I can pretty much use him from the discard pile pretty well. High strength. His ability might be relevant. And with no Khal Drogo, I'm not getting the double Drogon burn with Regal. The thing with Regal is he stands Drogon, but Drogon has 1 icon, so it doesn't matter that much. And well, I have the gold for Euron. Not great if I'm looking into any kind of Morgulis play in the future, but otherwise pretty decent. I briefly considered to leave maybe card in hand, threaten something, but 1 gold threatens we do not sow. That maybe it's not so great, so as well marshal it. Stops it does good work in challenges, the Iron Fleet Scout, and maybe at some point will stop something being directly burned. I mean, eager deckhand, if you lose military right where he's defending, can get him up to 4. Then if Drogon burns him, he would die after the challenge, but you can claim him in the meantime. Not a fan of Viserys coming in because there was not much claim soak prior to that. Military would hurt because you'd either be losing your freedmen or you would claim the dupe and then Morgulis at some point. But now there's 2 chuds that can be claimed. Very weak on the power icons though. Khal Drogo is there, right, in the discard pile, so if I wanted to do 2 military challenges, I could. One claim. It's not as impactful as it could be. Yeah, just checking whether he works on defense. Yeah, basically open information now, so I need to plan my challenges phase here. Problem is if I kneel out all of my characters and then Mag does challenges, I've seen in testings how explosive it can be if I let him, let's say, go to 10 power and then there is a Mad King's command and yeah, game kind of falls apart. But he's in a similar spot because I have two characters with renown and I'm bound to win a power challenge. I can even win some unopposed, surely, with stealth from Orkmund River and the Grey Ghost there. Can't trigger Balon right now if I want to use the stealth because I get one card out of the discard pile. It's exactly 10. So Orkmund River I think needs 10, right? I mean, it has stealth and I have Grey Ghost, so I can get unopposed power, but it doesn't seem like it's that badly needed to get unopposed here. Maybe Grey Ghost could be used for something different. And the other thing I'm considering here, of course, is how to win military on defense against the 14 strength from the two dragons. I can if I use Euron and Balon on defense and get Barristan from the discard pile, then I can win that. Even with just these three and Ironfleet Scout, it's still possible. But whether it's the right thing to do, I don't know. Well, that changes things a little bit because I like that Great Hall for Euron's ability. I'm not the richest and failed to play two Winter Reserves, so if I top deck a Goralt or an Asha now, that Great Hall could be nice. So I was half considering just passing and defending instead. But yeah, I mean, Rhaegal does a challenge, intrigue himself and wins and stands from that and does a military, and Friedman is there if I use everything on defense on the military. And yeah, even if I can defend everything except the intrigue, passing just means it's going to be 7-7, right? Can I get more is the question. Can I do my challenges? And limit what Mac can do here. And in the end, going for Dario. So he can take Friedman. If Rhaegal defends, he can't stand on defense, that's fine, so that's why I didn't bother to Grey Ghost him or anything. So Friedman defends, and I can stand it. Put the sword, not a threat to me anymore. The choke now is so big that difficult to keep 2 gold, and yeah, just with Balon's ability, so difficult to win military by 5 at this point. And final decision. I need to pass if I'm going to defend military with my 3 characters. And I decide to go for it anyway. I like that Great Holder. Which one to choose? Yeah, if I choose Drogon, then it's either unopposed or Rhaegal defense, and he doesn't win on defense because of Ironfleet Scout, and he stays knelt. And Drogon doesn't even win against Balon and Eager Deckhand, so Mac has to leave it. And here comes my Great Hall. Set with Icon now. No power icons. Yeah, if that Rhaegal was Viserion, I'd have a tougher time, I think. And I can't stop this one now, unfortunately. And it's 14, so I can defend with 7 plus Ironfleet Scout. So I'm losing by 5. Whatever I do. Which sucks for me because there's another Freedman coming in. And here I could claim Dario to just keep him dead. Don't want him to come into play particularly. Or I can claim Friedman because that's going back to Mac's side. It was taken by Dario. It's going back to his side at the end of the phase. The problem is it's a standing character that can oppose. But I think looking at Dario, but yeah, I think I'm reading here what happens to the character he stole. Yeah, it's going back, so I have to kill it. I have to keep the board small for my opponent. I'm not losing power because Balon defends Friedman easily. I can lose intrigue. Nothing in hand. Well, yeah, no reason not to do it. Actually, he does it with the little guy, not with Rhaegal. I think he was going to win dominance anyway, right? So Dario going away, it's only 9-8 and he has 2 big characters, so even on the board state I'm not winning that much, if at all. But I do have that one extra character that always comes in with Balon's ability. And now he has no plot left that can pay for stuff. So if you imagine a return to the fields gives him 4 gold. -1 from my agenda is 3. Has the estate, that's 4. And +2 from Aloof. So 6 costers can be played. Drogon is already in play. I think Khal Drogo is the other one. Yeah, I'd like just another choke effect would be nice. Just a nice flyer for this estate or a Botley crew. Not sure what he intends to play. I'm thinking, is it time for the other winter reserves? I'm not doing anything with my plots anyway. In the end, Winter Festival, because I'm close to winning. And it's actually against Mad King's Command. Now that's not enough to pay for a 6 coster on its own. And yes, so I would prefer a bigger character than Eager Deckhand, like an Asha here, but a dupe for Balon is decent. It's going to be 3 on 3 and character that is just not going to go away is quite good. And I have the Bloody Cup, which means no unopposed can be left. Otherwise I get rid of Rhaegal. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Keeps 2 gold this time. So now I do need to be a little bit careful about some kind of put to the sword. Now do I need Grey Ghost and this ship? Great Hall is quite good for Econ if I get something big. And Euron could grab a King's Road as well this round maybe. I think I should pick Grey Ghost. I'm on 9 power if I can stop a character defending. Struggling with the icons as it is though. Is Mac here. Although choosing Freedman for an attacking power. 2 renown as well. Would have been alright, and I can get a Bloody Cup on Rhaegal then. Yeah, but need to be a little bit careful anyway with put to the sword. And there's Drogo and Barristan. The problem is I need to choose now, because if one of the cards in hand is Nightmares, it's just going to be played in the first action window. I can't pass and see what happens. I have to. Oh, he is first player. Sorry, so he would have played it. Yeah, then never mind all of that talk about Grey Ghost. Then yeah, if I'm not actually starting the round, then maybe that was the sensible call. Probably was a little bit more lucid while playing. Yeah, after he passed, I didn't really think he had nightmares, but just to be safe. Here comes Khal Drogo. Do we want to defend? If we don't, we get Eager Decken burnt. Then we claim the Balon Dupe. Or Khal Drogo, I guess. Also, put to the sword on Euron in the meantime. That's not the best for me. But all of them are strong enough to just win on defense as well. Stops the stand, stops the Drogon kill. Get my renown. I get Euron's King's Road. At least Three Brothers doesn't bring another Freedman with it when it enters the discard pile. Now this one, unfortunately, I am losing. But actually, now I have Winter Festival is getting me to 13, and I'll get unopposed military. And if I Bloody Cup this guy Rhaegal, he gives prized away, and that's 15. I'm just checking this. Balon triggers at the end of the phase, and Winter Festival is an interrupt, so it will trigger first. So I'm thinking I'm winning here. Now I might be winning anyway, to be fair, but it's not super safe because Mack is also on 10 powers, and I don't remember exactly what the initiative situation is for the final plots. I guess he wins with return, right? So if I can't close, it's a little bit dodgy. But let's bloody cup this guy, and that should be that. Could take the dupe investment for the future, but he has the Hand's Judgment for the 2 gold. And yeah, now it's not enough. I don't get my prize. Well, Winter Festival and Dominance 14, so just need one more challenge. I have the econ, but I don't have the cards. And he has some cards, not a lot, but doesn't have the econ. Yeah, he's not going to marshal anything big, so if I play for Snow, he's not going to marshal any chads either, because they're just going to go. And now I'm losing my chad as well, so it's either for Snow or Winter Reserves. And he goes for the 2 claimer, which now, yeah, doesn't seem that great anymore. I'm losing my eager deckhand. I need Night Flyer basically, then he can come in from hand. Yeah, he figures that I have enough econ to do whatever, and just needs the Armfleet Scout instead. I don't get an additional character, but actually a dupe for Euron is not so bad because it's 2 claim and I only have Euron and Balon. And Balon's ability. 1 gold, not much that can be done with that. Unfortunately, it's not 0. If it was 0, then even Nightmares couldn't be played. That's the 1 card that still does something. I might as well get the other Scout, it might make some difference. Yeah. I mean, I was winning this game with the Balon trigger. Now, imagine if I didn't have the dupe for Euron, and he does military, kills my Euron, that puts me down to 12 power. Then he does an intrigue as well. Yeah, he's not winning though with that, and then he has no power icons, so just unopposed power with Balon and dominance. You need to win dominance, I guess. Balon doesn't get renowned because of the nightmares, so maybe we'd go another round, but then Balon is duped and Rhaegal is not, right? So if I play Morghulis, I get a win on prized. No reason for me to defend this because they're duped and there's no threat. I get the -3, but Drogon can't do another challenge without Drogo in play. And I can get intrigued, but from what I can see, there is no power gain from that apart from unopposed. Yeah. I mean, with just a Barristan or something in play would have been different, or a Viserion. But then maybe I would have played something differently as well. Who knows, Balon had options there all game basically. Finally have a card in hand as well for Barristan to increase claim. Okay, had it for a second, gone now. Yeah. Close one, so I got the Balon and Bloody Cup that I really wanted in this matchup, and he got the Drogo and Drogon. We missed a few of the other answers though, especially he did, because of yeah, the lack of power icons. And the pillage was a bit much, right? Two freedmen and Miss Sunday didn't really need that, but yeah. Luckily, it didn't cost me in the end. And yeah, so that's the game. That means it's 2-2 in this matchup. And I said at the start that we would bring you a few games every week, but not really all of them because it's impossible to just record everything. However, it's now looking like we actually might. All the games have been interesting, and this matchup is quite tight. Even the games that have been played after this one, that of course I already know the result as I commented. It looks like it's going to be close, but yeah, still a difficult job to beat France. So thank you for watching this one with me, and hopefully see you in the other videos as well.